Please subscribe and ring the bell to never miss an update. Hello everyone. Today on Lady Mary Bath, we are Goodwill shopping in the Houston area. I can't wait to take you along and discover some treasures together. Join me. I'm glad to be back at the Cypress, Houston area Goodwill store. They're located on Highway 290, and I will always put their information in the description so that you can shop here too. It's one of my favorite Houston area Goodwills. Found amazing treasures here over the years, including James Avery Artisan Jewelry, Waterford Crystal, great finds. Let's go on inside. Goodwill stores are conveniently open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and this location off of 290 is always clean and well organized. I see they have changed up some of the departments since we were last here, and we are greeted by green glass. I'm thrilled to find this. It is perfect for summertime and goes with every taste and style. I see plenty of vintage items and some antiques. There is sandwich glass with a cup and saucer, mixed in with some depression glass pieces. And you can easily research the patterns by taking a picture, going to Google Lens, and you may be familiar with some of these if you are a depression glass collector. Let's take a closer look at these plates that are hidden by the teacup and saucer. This at $2.99 is a steal. It is the Rose Cameo pattern by Belmont Tumbler, not to be confused with the Anchor Hocking pattern. And this, by Federal Glass, is known as the Patrician Spoke. That's a great piece as well. There's some green depression glass plates mixed in here with the sandwich glass. I like that they're priced separately, and it doesn't have to be your pattern. This is something you can easily add to your breakfast table, have a luncheon plate at $3.99, and this plate is probably a premium, maybe in Mother's Oats. I love the history of depression glass. You may want to tune into a previous segment where I talked to Max Miller and learn more about the history and interesting tidbits on depression glass. Gorgeous green. And that sandwich glass cup and saucer, $2.99, I think is a steal. They actually had place setting for $4 if you look at all the different pieces, and I unfortunately passed on that and let someone else have it. These green glasses are priced as a set, which is a bit unusual for Goodwill, but it makes perfect sense to me. $10.99 for the set of 4, and I believe these are brand new from Amazon. They are not vintage, but you see how beautifully it mixes with the antique and vintage pieces. The 2 mixing bowls, I believe, might be from Anchor Hocking in that forest green color. Well priced at $8.99 for the pair. And I will tell you that these sold rather quickly. And here we have 4 berry bowls in the sandwich glass. And these dishes, I think, are in the form of a maple leaf for Canada. These are good nut dishes, $5.99. Some very good prices. And these sandwich ice beverage glasses are fantastic. I had these in my cart at first, $3.99 each, but I thought I would let someone else take those home. Fantastic shades of green here. This is a great example of sandwich glass and the lacy swirls of the florals here, something that you probably have seen in different colors, including the forest green and clear. It originated from the Boston and Sandwich Glass Company in the 1800s and was later copied by companies such as Duncan Miller, Anchor Hocking, and the Indiana Glass Company from the 1930s to the 1980s. It is no longer made, and this is a deal at $3.99 for the iced beverage. Going, gone. Much of this green sold rather quickly. I did end up taking some of the loner depression glass plates I found interesting, including this parrot pattern by the Indiana Glass Company. What a find with these 4 sandwich glass dinner plates. You could use them for luncheon as well. And of course you could pair that with any dish pattern. Green is sort of a neutral, it goes with most every season. And at $12.99, I think that's a deal. The jewelry section is one of my first stops as I enter the store because I have been so lucky in finding the James Avery pieces and Kendra Scott as well. Those are 2 brands that I'm always looking for. And sometimes when you ask if they have those pieces, they may say no because they're just not aware. But if you go through each of these trays, you might get lucky and find just what you came for. And let's take a look inside at first glance. I don't see any James Avery. I do see some Kendra Scott, Brighton earrings, and something very familiar in the back we'll look at in just a moment. This is the Rain necklace from Kendra Scott, and that goes for about $100. And the price is $25.99, which is fair. Kendra Scott is a Texas jewelry designer that grew up in the North Houston area in Klein, and she's on Shark Tank, very successful with a billion-dollar company. This is one of her druzy necklaces, and that is the sparkly stone. And this Brighton pair of earrings originally was in a metal tin. You can certainly cut the edge around that and do some creative packaging. And I actually do see a James Avery piece. This is a Christmas ornament. There's that James Avery candelabra back stamp. And that is one of my finds of the day for $19.99. I'm delighted to find a James Avery sterling silver ornament. This was, I believe, their anniversary ornament. It is back stamped with the James Avery logo. $19.99 is an excellent price because these retail for $120 to $155 depending on the design. And this is retired. You cannot find it in the James Avery store. And on eBay, that would go for considerably more than the current retail. Definitely taking this home to add to my James Avery Christmas tree. I had the ornament professionally polished by James Avery. They sent it off to Kerrville, their headquarters, and it looks like it's brand new. This Pandora bracelet is $39.99. You can see that Pandora there on the clasp. It is sterling silver. It does have one charm, and those usually go for about $30. And if you can clean that up, that actually is a fair price with the bracelet, but I would definitely wait for color of the week. And here's another Kendra Scott druzy bracelet. And you definitely have some savings off of the retail price. And if it's your birthday month, you get half price on one item at Kendra Scott at their flagship store. So keep that in mind. $14.99 is a steal. And here I'm modeling that for you. It's actually quite nice. Think about all the outfits that would go with. And I'm looking for some more treasures. Let's see if maybe a brand looks familiar. That logo I recognize. And this pair of earrings happens to be James Avery. They didn't know that these were, at least when I asked at the counter, but here they have them labeled and they are retired, which of course means something in value. And let's open this box. Brand new, a daughter-in-law bell. This is a very familiar brand. I have offered these on my eBay store, Lady Mary Beth Treasures. John Bell, highly collectible. And this comes with a chain. I would say that's very well priced because the bells can go from anywhere from about $35 to $50 without a chain. So that's a good deal. And these earrings sold rather quickly for $5.99. They're sort of in the Kendra Scott style. And that is a good price. And here I found James Avery, but they've been altered. These are 2 horseshoe charms that would sell for about $30 each. And they have been attached to some stainless steel pieces, it looks like, for dangle earrings. You could take those to a James Avery store and they could cut that off and add a loop for you. Indian handcrafted earrings. This is quite a find, and the price is right at $11.99. Aren't those interesting?
with the artist information on the back.
I'm always glad to add something interesting to my jewelry collection or to my gift closet. These are handcrafted sterling silver earrings made by a Navajo Indian. And here on the back it says Navajo with the artist's signature. At $11.99, that is an excellent price. And these are absolutely perfect. They just need a little polishing.
The Navajo handcrafted earrings actually go for a lot on the secondary market, so that was probably my deal of the day. Look at this fantastic store. Now let's go over and look in these glass cases. We find some everyday decor and some unusual items. And there's always time for a deal in this shop. I found some great china pieces over the years. They've got some wonderful crystal and vintage glass. A platter is versatile. You can use this for a base, for something, for even a salad plate, for serving. And of course it is that familiar Fostoria pattern that we all love.
You probably recognize this pattern. It is from the Fostoria Glass Company. Their American pattern was made from 1915 to 1988. And it is a block geometric, a steel at $3.99. And one way to identify Fostoria is you will look for 3 mold lines. Here we have 1, it is sort of like a seam, 2, and 3. So take a look at that when you're out shopping and you think you've got Fostoria American in your hand.
Milk glass is a timeless addition to your tableware and decor. Here we've got some candle holders, well priced at $3.99 each. And this hobnail votive holder at $1.99 is most likely from the Indiana Glass Company. You could place a scented votive inside and that would make a great hostess gift. Thinking vanilla or pina colada. And here is our unusual find of the day, a hand-painted ostrich egg with some antlers or horns. Look at this, $79.99. That looks like it's from Africa. It's quite an unusual piece, and for the collector, that would be a fair price. Here's a better look at that with all the wildlife. Goodwill definitely surprises me sometimes. And for the serious collector, you do want to pop in occasionally because they get the good stuff. This is just under $200, the Noritake Shomont pattern, and that is definitely vintage from Japan. It's quite an extensive set. And that gray is neutral, of course. It would go with so many different looks. And I see a hint of blue as well. And you can tell by this shape that that is more of a mid-century style. And I like that they have a variety of pieces, including salt and pepper shakers, creamer and sugar, and a gravy boat. These demi-tasse cups are extra special. Very lightweight, and that is more of an eggshell china, $49.99. I would definitely wait for a half price. I think that that is a bit higher than I would pay. But definitely you could add one to your demi-tasse collection. And this is one of my favorites with the hand-painted florals. And of course, I'm thinking you could even make one into a lovely bracelet or pendant at China Baroque here in Houston. And that's why you want to wait for that half price. It's a bit unusual to find that. It reminds me of the upscale resale in Dallas where we found some beautiful bowls. I'm headed to Alaska very soon, and this is something that I'm planning on looking for, but I don't even have to go that far. The Mezzaluna is available at Goodwill. And I'm always looking for votive holders. And this is another great find of the day. Let's turn it over, look for a back stamp. It is Costa Boda, which is a very familiar maker. Sold at Neiman Marcus, for example, and cobalt tea light holders. My favorite color from Crate and Barrel.
it's always worth looking at the candle holders. And in this case, I have some fantastic votive holders. This caught my eye because it looked very heavy, looked like something that maybe was on the expensive side. Sure enough, it is Kosta Boda. It's got a great back stamp there. It is the art glass division for Orifers, which is Swedish crystal. At $5.99, that's a deal. And these two cobalt tea light holders are fun. They are from Crate and Barrel. There's our sticker, $1.99. And these would make great gifts. I could even fill this with jelly beans and give it as an Easter gift.
I was delighted to have met a couple of viewers as I was shopping for those candle holders, Patty and Deanna. And they shop at this location often and find amazing deals. How about this ironstone look from Pfaltzgraff? Cup and saucer priced at $2.99 each would be a great way to start a tabletop collection. And I think that you could definitely save on space. You don't have to have your cups and saucers in every pattern of your dish choices. You could simply add seasonal plates to this and mix it in with your everyday. China painting was popular turn of the century all the way through the 1970s, and blanks were chosen for their quality. This is from the Thomas Company out of Bavaria, Germany, in the Sèvres pattern, which is a French name. Here we've got some everyday kitchen essentials. And for outdoor entertaining, an acrylic drink dispenser. And these used to be quite expensive. I'm seeing these more and more in Goodwill stores. It's perfect for flour and sugar, and it looks nice on your kitchen counter, and the price is right. It's $6.99. You can't beat that. And I definitely wouldn't pay retail. That fleur de lis is a nice handle, and you're lucky to find several sizes, so you could definitely outfit your kitchen. A punch bowl, not exactly vintage, that's a newer one, but still practical. At $10.99, with lots of cups. This bubble glass is vintage. I see that in antique stores occasionally, and that's great to pick up for $2. You can have that on hand for last minute florals for any occasion. Deviled eggs. I don't even know if you can buy these retail anymore. Lots of vintage options. And here we have a sweet plate. Do you see that soft pink background? It's not actually white. Of course, the back is. And the parent company is Ridgway Potteries. We'll take a closer look at that back stamp.
I found a couple of plates that are actually quite interesting, and this one is my pattern. It is dogwood, which is depression glass, and you'll see that beautiful shade of pink. I also have it in green. It was made by the Macbeth Evans Glass Company, which started out in 1899 as a merger between two companies, and they also made a lot of industrial and scientific glass. They're most well known for depression glass. And this small plate here, which actually coordinates very well with the dogwood, is Coal Claw, which is an English porcelain manufacturer with a beautiful crown back stamp. And this is $1.99. It's just too cute to pass up. And at $2.99, that's a fair price to add to my dogwood depression glass collection.
A covered vegetable with pops of color. Look at the possibilities here. And the back stamp just has a number. And I'm really liking this. I can see so many uses for this vessel.
A covered vegetable actually has many possibilities. And this is a deal at $8.99. It is definitely vintage, has a lovely floral motif. And I'm thinking this would make a great table centerpiece. Remove the lid and place maybe a couple of small potted plants. You could even use that as jewelry storage on your dresser. So many different purposes. And that oval shape fits nicely just about anywhere. Love this.
A crystal vase is always worth a closer look. You may find a back stamp, it could be something extremely valuable. This is a heavy vase, and we're going to do some research while we're in the store and find out. Look how it sparkles.
This crystal vase is really good price at $14.99. I did take a photo of it, put it on Google Lens, and I was able to source it to a seller on Etsy who had the original box. And we know that this is from the Tuscany Crystal Company. It is made in Poland, and it is offered for $65 on the secondary market. So for $14.99, you've got a great deal on this gorgeous vase.
I'm always looking through the kitchen essentials because sometimes you find Waterford crystal or something new in a box. And if you're looking for an affordable gift, and maybe you're not as confident in giving something without a box, this would be a great option. A cheese server for $10.99 from the International Silver Company, and that is silver plate. I have actually found Waterford crystal in Goodwill stores, and here we have some that is vintage with that diamond etching. Quite an interesting stem. 5 for $6.99. You can't beat that. No box store has any wine glass that saves you more money than this. And you'll notice it is a molded piece. You see the seam on either side. It is not hand blown, which is perfectly wonderful. Just wanted to point that out. And there's some smaller glasses. And for a single one, you could use that for juice in the morning. It could be for mouthwash. Lots of possibilities, so don't pass up one glass, especially if it's as interesting as these. This etching is lovely. $6.99 for 6 glasses. It's beautiful. Take me back to Paris. I like to look through their artwork. You may find a hidden gem. I dream of the day when I find something that belongs in a museum. That could be auctioned at Christie's. You never know. But at a minimum, I do find Sid Dickens tiles that I sell on my eBay store. You can find an architectural element. These are quite popular. And why pay retail when you can get a good deal at Goodwill? And keep in mind the frames are also worth something. You may not want the art, but you could use that for something else. Even electronics. And lightingware is another category that I try to always look at when I'm at Goodwill because they sometimes will have Waterford crystal or something that might fit in your space nicely, Scentsy warmers, and a turtle light. And that Himalayan sea salt was quite popular at one point. Here's another new in box item. A 12-piece cheese set from Oneida. That's practical, would make a great gift. And the price is always right on these. You do want to open it and make sure all the parts and pieces are there. And for $14.99, that's a very fair price. Especially with the cheese markers. And they do have a lot of Coach handbags. I'm not focusing on that today, but I wanted to just show you the possibilities. You'll see that it's missing a bit of the color on the front. You could probably take brown shoe polish. The interior is in great condition, and there you have an authentic Coach with a label. And I think you could definitely turn this around for $29.99. This is the classic signature Coach, and that is well priced at $24.99. It does have some areas on the outside that need spot cleaning. The handle is in great shape. The interior as well. And that's something to think about because it is fabric. You can easily clean that. And behind the counter, they do have some other treasures here, including African art, handbags, and a fire screen. And this, they say, is from the 1800s. I'm not sure. It is a beautiful piece made in the French style, sort of a Rococo look with a cherub. And it is $500. And here are my purchases today. I especially am excited about the James Avery, and I met some ladies while I was looking at the James Avery, some viewers, Diana and her mom. They enjoy watching and they find some great bargains at this store.
So glad you joined me today for the Goodwill shopping. I am taking home this Fostoria platter for $3.99. Couldn't pass it up, along with the Depression glass dogwood plate, the Cold Claw bread and butter plate, and of course the James Avery jewelry and the tea light candle holders. Thanks again for joining Lady Mary Beth. Elevate your everyday with Goodwill shopping.